morning, happy new year, welcome to 2025, and that can only mean one thing. Time is flying by. 2025. I might still be writing 2019 on my checks. I dated myself by using the word checks. For those watching who aren't aware of what a check is, a check was something that actually was a piece of paper that was kind of like a promissory note to an extent that you would give to like the supermarket. And you'd be like, oh, my bill's $53. Here, let me write you a check. And it would have your account number to your bank account. And you'd give them that check. We don't do that anymore.
Is that like when you went to the store like 2 days before you got paid and you know you didn't have any money, but you knew like, oh, they're not going to cash that in
There's a
for
certain
like
delay.
3 days, right?
They got to run that all the way to the bank. This new world, instant money is much more difficult to navigate. You used to be able to trick your ATM and like, oh, I deposited my stub. Whoops.
Yeah, no. Now you just wave your phone in front of the machine, like, oh, cool. All right, we're good to go.
Yeah. Life is like a toilet roll. The less left, the faster it spins. That is a great analogy, Oldest.
That is true.
It.
That's good.
Tom Jones! Tom Jones getting in, you know.
Wow, very nice.
We almost need to set up like a Venmo or something. Because I just hate giving YouTube so much money. Tom Jones, you've been so charitable to the Simpit, and it just grieves me that YouTube gets their cut every time. And I think they get more than we do, by the way. I don't know that.
I think it's like they get like 30%, I think.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
A greedy level, nonetheless.
I know.
So, good morning to you, Amir. How are you? Happy 2025.
Happy 2025, man. I'm good. It was, even though like we were on break, it didn't feel like we're on break. I was doing a lot of real, in IRL, in real life type stuff. Had a couple of job interviews, and
that's working.
It sucks because too, like, you can't nowadays, like when you apply for a job, you can't just write one resume, right? You have to and send it out and think you're gonna get hired. No, you got to look at the job requirements that they posted and edit your resume to tailor to that. To then you look, if you apply for another job, you got to tailor your resume to that. It's like, dude, I think I did, oh my gosh, like over 20 different versions of a resume over the course of the past couple.
Yeah. He was confused, sending the wrong version, the wrong company.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was and I finally, like, I had 3 interviews. So I'm hoping I should hear something back in the next 3 to 5 days.
Right.
Crossing
and
fingers.
Then
between that, then starting to pack up, clean up the house and everything. I was like, it didn't really feel like it was really the holidays, except for like Christmas Day and New Year's Eve, where I sat there and like, all right, I'm just doing nothing. I'm gonna have some fun, take my mind off of things. But other than that, it was good, man. How about yours?
Mine, well, I mean, for us, we're really talking, I mean, we've been off the air for a while, so we're talking, pre-Christmas. My mom came into town. Okay, I'll give you guys a real quick funny story. My brother's birthday is the 22nd. My mom came into town so we could go to have a birthday dinner with my brother. And so we went to this steakhouse, really nice steakhouse here in town. And I think we had just gotten like our appetizers and they were serving our drinks. And the waiter dropped an entire brand new Sprite and ice on me. And when I say on me, I mean like it hit me like here, like across the head and shoulders, and just completely saturated me in Sprite and ice. And that was interesting. I was like a cold water dunking, like with no warning whatsoever. And so for like half a second I was in shock because I was unaware, and it actually made me kind of think of when like random horrible emergencies happen. Like you don't know,
right.
Like, and then you're like reacting to it. And luckily this was nothing dangerous, but wow, what a shock. Anyway, good dinner and good times. And I literally laughed for like 10 minutes straight. Anyway, they paid for dry cleaning. They gave me a gift card to come back, and
Nice.
all was fine. It was a good time. But had our mom in town for a week. God, I hope my mom's not listening.
Uh-oh, what happened? What
Let's
did you do
just-
to her?
Let's just say this. I think anyone can relate to this. My mom was here for 7 days. 6 days were awesome. I love my mom so much, and I haven't seen her in forever.
Mm-hmm.
And one day was
It's been a year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one day was so trying, wearing, exhausting. And it wasn't like it was the 7th day. It wasn't like an accumulation thing. But I
Right.
guess that's the ratio right there. So that was, but no, it was great. And funny enough, my brother had the exact same scenario. 6 great days, one day. It wasn't the same day as me.
Right.
It just didn't go right. And it's like, oh, Mom. Anyway, hope she's not watching. I love you, Mom, if you are. I mean, even if you aren't, I love you, Mom. I don't mind. The world knows that. And then New Year's was uneventful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been raining here. Raining and raining and raining. And so, no, I just hung out, and I actually was doing some driving. I was driving the BMW M2 on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
Because that's what I do.
Yeah. Joe, you laughed. So Joe had made a comment like, "Hey, how many people watch the show?" So it was funny. One of the guys I had an interview with, actually, he did. Nowadays all companies, they do a search for you on social media.
Oh no, and you're very
things like
public
that.
at this point.
So because we did the interview over Zoom. So I had my camera and everything. So just like the setup right here. Like I haven't changed anything because we just had it yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, he's like, I Googled your name and everything, and I found you do YouTube. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, oh, like I've seen your like this. You were sitting there in videos doing all this stuff, the same background with The Sims. Like, so, what is this? What is it all about? So we probably sat there for like almost 30 minutes, like not even talking about the job.
Oh, that's awesome. But it's got to work.
And everything like that. It was funny. It was awesome.
It had to have worked in your favor. I mean, it shows just a whole another layer of abilities and whatnot, right?
I hope so. Like, and I told him like, hey, the things that I learned doing this, because again, like, applying for the job, like, I do a lot of, editing, planning, setting up projects, doing, organizing.
You're well spoken. You have good personality.
I don't know about personality. I mean, some people might disagree. But I'm kidding.
You exude personality. What do you mean?
Except when I'm napping in one of the videos we're about to talk. But it was cool. It was good talking about that. Kind of highlighting something different. But yeah, so it was kind of funny. I was like, oh yeah, I've watched a couple of your videos on YouTube. They're actually pretty good. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. So
it's like, in fact, you're better than that bald dude.
No,
yeah.
There's no one that can beat the Gramps. Come on.
I got that going for me.
You're the grandpa of sim racing, man.
Grandpa.
No one can beat you. You're the Don Corleone, right?
I was so young when I started. So young. Okay, I want to get some 2025 hellos and good morning to our wonderful, amazing Simpit pit crew community. Good morning, Dan DiMaggio here bright and early today. Love it. Callum, good morning to you. Brandon's here. The Nightbot is here, of course, always on watch. Tom Jones, we thanked you for your donation and good morning. Andrew White, not sure if you're here, but of course I have your flyer. Of course I do. And you're planning a PC. I've been planning a PC forever, and so long that I've had to change components. Funding the PC is the problem, not planning for me. Yeah. Oldest, good morning to you. We talked about the toilet paper. Great one. Altran Sam. Did I say that right? Good morning to you. I'm not sure I've said hello to you before. Good morning and welcome to the show. What do I do for 20? They were talking bike shorts earlier. No, it gets no more risque than that. Joa, good morning and happy new year to you. Stephen Dager. I love when you show up for the show. Good morning. I was talking paint jobs with Amir before. I was like, when I started painting, I just made it known to my league friends. Like, hey, anyone looking for paint? Steve Dager, one of the people who rocked some of my paint jobs back in the day. That was only, I'm not even lying, that was only 25 years ago that I just referred to. Only 25 years ago.
Wow. You could paint back then? Or like, did you have to like paint it like and then upload it? You know.
Believe it or not, I use the exact same program I use to this day, which is why I don't paint anymore, because it won't even open modern.
What is it, like Coral Draw or something?
Almost. It's like Paint Shop Pro 7. I might have started out on like 5. All right. John Hill, good morning to you. John Hill, you got some splaining to do. I saw that dress you wore for New Year's. I'm kidding.
Whoa.
It wasn't a dress. He'll tell us what it was called now that I've embarrassed him like that.
I don't know if I want to know. You guys can talk offline about that.
I didn't see him. I saw a picture. I know of this. Tony Morano, good morning to you. You and I we crossed paths in a BMW room and didn't share the track, but we did set lap times in the same session. Hopefully we'll find each other again, buddy. David S., good morning to you. Spatial Dragon Tim, good morning to you. All right, I'm all caught up. All right, you guys want to see... I always, when we do these intros, and I'm referring to the Next Level Racing ERS3 seat leather and suede review by Amir. When we do these intros, and your answers probably won't affect whether I do or don't do them, by the way. Or, you know, this is Amir's work, but it totally reminds me of something I would have done. Like, wow, that's right out of the playbook. Is it funny or is it cringe, right? Like, that, I'm always on that. Like, whenever I do some planned something, cringe or setup. Right, or anyway. Okay, so let's play out what I'm talking about.
All right.
All right, Amir. Just giving you a heads up. I'm probably about 4 laps out from coming in.
No, this is funny.
Amir? Amir? All right, 4 laps out.
You're just passed out.
Hello, Amir. All right. I'm starting to get a little scared now. Amir, hello. I only have 2 laps of fuel left, buddy. Coming in soon. Where are you? Okay, Amir. Amir! This is the lap. I'm coming in. Amir, I am going to explode. I have to pee. Hello? Amir? You're supposed to be here. Where the F are you? What am I going to do? Amir! Amir! Amir, I'm coming in right now. Oh my God. Amir!
I'm in, Sean. I'm in. Don't worry about it.
Oh, there you are. Thank God, dude. I'm getting it. I can't even talk. I got to jump out of the car as soon as I stop. It's your run. Good luck.
Oh, okay. So, now, truthfully, 2 parts to this. Number 1, that seat's comfortable, yes? Is that the point?
It is. You know, you did the. Like for me, like with my forever rig, like I really like, you know, I want, you know, with my first rig, I wanted like the full bucket seat experience, all that stuff. Like I want to be actually like I'm sitting in a real cockpit, right? And I watched your take on the Eris when you did I think you did the full leather version. And then, you know, next level they sent me, hey, we want to send you the suede and leather one. Can you review that one? And depending on that, we'll send you some other stuff. So I'm like, all right, I'll take a look at it. I was like, for me, like sim racing. Why am I going to be sim racing in a reclining seat, right? Like I'm in a race car. Like there's no reclining seats or anything like that. You sit in a bucket seat.
It's the only way to go.
But you know, as you get older, you know, things start to ache a little bit more. So like I really especially like this last year, I'm starting to feel it where, man, before I could sit in my bucket seat, you know, sim race, do all my stuff, do my gaming, do everything, comfortable as hell. But like starting like this 2024, man, like I just can't sit in the bucket seat anymore for long periods of time.
I hear you.
And I didn't really think much about it. And then like I got the reclining seat, and I'm like, oh. Oh, this actually feels nice. I actually sit in it. I can recline it. What if I want to, lean back a little bit? So like when I'm sitting there playing Microsoft Flight Simulator, I can lean the seat back. I got my controls. I can relax. I can actually move my legs. I can move my arms around and stretch and do all this stuff. Stuff you can't do in a bucket seat. So I'm like, oh man, like. So now you've got me thinking too, based off of like the seat they sent me and your review. I'm like, do I even want to keep the bucket seat or like switch it out now for a reclining seat? Because like.
Right.
It's really comfy. It's got nice lumbar support, nice cushioning and everything. I'm like, man, like now I can probably tolerate it for the next couple of years. I can deal with a bucket seat, but once I start getting older, like I don't think a bucket seat is gonna be able to be able to do it anymore if I'm gonna keep on doing endurance racing and everything like that. So
Sure.
yeah, man, so it's got me thinking.
There are a few reasons that I can say that a fixed racing seat is the way to go.
Right.
If you're using a seat mover motion platform,
Yeah.
it is sort of important to do that. Not essential, but it's pretty, depending on the type, if it's a 2-post type versus a under seat. So that is a good reason. The other is, in some case, I know you can make it work on a reclining, but the belt tensioners, you can just dial them in perfectly and it never changes, so it's just dialed. So that would be another one. And then the last reason I can say, no, I'll give 2 more reasons. You race for real, and you actually want the seat that's in your car in your sim rig.
Yeah.
And I built rigs for people who've done that, and I've done that myself. And then the last one would be if it's a DIY rig and it's affordability because you happen to have one laying around.
Yeah.
Never gonna, undervalue that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
affordability.
you talk about costs, like, the next level seat, it was like, how much was it? Like $299 or $199? I can't remember. I don't know. I think it was like $299, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you look at a bucket seat is going to be, at least $350 and even higher. Like, and now I'm starting to question myself, why am I paying that much for a bucket seat when it doesn't do anything? It doesn't recline, it's just a bucket seat where I actually have like a seat that's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And I can actually recline, I can, move around, so yeah, now you've, having this seat and, seeing your stuff, I'm like, why are people even paying such crazy amounts of money for bucket seats?
And most of the super premium rigs are set up that way at this point. I don't understand it. It's something I've kind of bitched about for a little while. The other thing I want to go back to the sleepiness. Oldest hit upon it. It's funny because it's happened. I literally did a endurance race at Bathurst, and my teammate at SCS Motorsports at the time, I'm not going to name his name, Sam, was supposed to show up. It was a 2-man event. It was 12 hours. We're going to 2-man it. And I ran my stint, and he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what the hell? So I ran another stint, and he wasn't there.
Right.
And then I started my 3rd stint, and about an hour into it, I totally wiped out at the top of the hill. And it was like, whatever. I'm like, I've been in the car for like 5 hours. No. So it's happened to me too. Yeah, that has happened. I think it's happened to anybody who's done their share of it's gonna happen. Best thing I can tell you, like, we usually have a backup driver, right? Usually, but not always. In the middle of the night, though, you find yourself alone. I did a real life 24-hour race, and I ran the stint that was like from 2:30 to like 4:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And not once did anyone chime in on the mic, and not once was I shown any kind of flag or anything by my team. And then like at like 4:45, someone came on the mic, panicked, saying, "You're still out, dude. You are running on fumes. Come on in." I mean, and it was like that was the only thing I heard in my 2 hours and 15 minutes in the car. So it happens. It happens. All right. I think before I even get to the show, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm just going to throw this out there for today's show. And I say this all the time, and forgive me, a little disappointed in you all because I get very little feedback back. Today is the new day, a new era, the dawn of a new era. It is 2025, Simpit moving forward. I'm going to invite you all. I'm on Discord. The link is in the description. If you type in !Discord in the chat, it will give it to you right here live, or it's in the description of the show. Please get in our Discord. Friend me on our Discord. Send me a private message. I am looking for any ideas, suggestions of things that you guys think will help the Simpit moving forward in 2025. It could be fragments of an idea. It could be concepts of an idea. It can be just sort of general direction kind of thinking. I'm all ears. And when I say there are no bad ideas, it doesn't mean that every idea is great and that we'll run with them. But sometimes ideas spawn like parallel thoughts that are really, really valuable. So I just really, really hope and any help you guys can offer would be greatly appreciated. The show's always been made of, clay. We can remold this in the form we want. We've tried a bunch of different things throughout the years. Times change, though. Before TikTok didn't exist. Before that, Twitter was, or X was Twitter. Before that, my era, MySpace didn't exist. No. So anyway, I am all ears, and we're really vested in what we do. We love what we do. We love the community that we have, and we just want to make sure we're moving forward in the best light possible, doing everything we possibly can. I missed the podcast. Yes, great idea, Dan. There's what we need on the podcast is podcast topic ideas, because that's what we kind of always said was we weren't gonna force the podcast into we have to come up with something every third Thursday, right? We didn't want to create that. We wanted to create a need as type version of that show. So all ears. But again, any ideas are better served over on Discord because it's really hard for me to keep notes here. So, okay. But only this much, Brandon. And it's not that no ideas have been given my way. Sometimes ideas are given my way, but they weren't formulated in a way that it felt like a suggestion or an idea. It was just things that were talked about in broad topic, too. So I'm not trying to minimize things that have been pushed forward either.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, I'm all for it, buddy. I am all for it. You can even print it out and mail it to me.
I think for me, I know one thing you and me talked about it too, and I haven't done it either, but I was going to do more racing content. So that's going to be something for me to push for. For coming in this year, doing more races either in LMU, iRacing, getting more of that content, because I think that's quick, easy content. You can just get into a race, hit record, and go and talk as you're driving.
Okay.
So that'd be something good. So I need to get more into that stuff too.
Can we air out some dirty laundry right here?
I mean, go ahead. It's your show, buddy.
All right. Well, so here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I've been bouncing in my head.
Yeah.
And not to take anything away from our league racing, but I feel like it is really necessary that I be doing a certain amount of live iRacing. Yeah. Specific, because that's my sim. I'm not sure if it's fixed times or random times. And the reason I say this is, we don't get invited to their media events, for example, because they're like, you're not streamers, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, so maybe, and it's not that they're not inviting us. They're not inviting us is just an indication of what's going on in the world. And I was talking about evolving, right? And staying relevant and current, right? And so anyway, I am running 35 sevens in the BMW at, I can't remember the name of the little tiny track we're at. It's one of those weird ones.
Yeah.
Anyway, which is 4/10 off of alien pace. I think the fastest I've seen was a 35.1. A lot of people are running 36s, 37s, 38s.
Yeah.
So I'm running pretty good right now, and I was like, well, maybe it's time I pick a day. Like I might have done it tonight, but we have something else going on tonight. But just like do like 2 or 3 races in a row, and get the points for the season. No, it's not Olton Park. It's one of the German ones. It's not German. It might be next door to Germany. Oh, come on. Do I have to fire up my racing sim? Hold on.
Zandvoort?
No. It starts with an O.
Oschensleben?
It might be, but so sad that I don't know.
Yeah, it was that Oschensleben. That's the one that we did our science experiment with the GT cars at the time.
Maybe. Tony, are you still here? Tony will know. Tony has a better memory than I do, I think.
Yeah.
I'm firing up iRacing because
Well, while you do that,
too embarrassed. Yeah, do it.
We had Michael. He asked a question, man. So because he's saying his monitor is bugged out. So it depends on, because you're saying would you go IPS or VA? So VA will give you a better picture, give you better colors, but with IPS you'll be able to get better refresh rates with it. So the pictures will look a lot smoother and cleaner with IPS versus VA. So I don't know. When it comes to and most monitors nowadays, they do really good colors anyway. So I would probably end up going with IPS over VA panel any day nowadays, man.
IPS for the win, says Amir.
Yeah.
All right. So any other thoughts on that ERS3 seat that we should share? Other than people should go watch the video?
Yeah, if they haven't watched it, go watch it. I aired out everything there, and I may or may not have more stuff from them that's going to be coming out this month. So stay tuned for that too. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Very
they were
interesting. Oschersleben.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Don't even listen to me.
It's not that I wasn't listening. It's that I didn't remember officially. So yes. All right. Hey, Simrig, I'm not sure I said good morning to you. Welcome to the show. SNK Fan 01. What up?
I didn't say hi to Dirge either.
Dirge? Didn't I say hi to Dirge?
No, we forgot about Dirge.
Oh, man. I would never forget about Dirge. What up, Dirge? Anyone else? Okay, just checking in.
And we got Agent Wax. What's up, man?
Agent Wax. I love it. That sounds like a character out of a movie for sure.
I know.
Special Agent Wax on the scene. John Belagron, how you doing, buddy? All right, well, that's all from the Simpit. Yep. We had, and an excuse for a slowdown in production, we, kind of did have Christmas where my mom was in town. And I took a week off, no BS. Didn't even turn on my computer.
Yep.
So that was awesome. And then New Year's, which wasn't quite as much, but it really messed me up. I swear, it is really hard for me to figure out that today is Friday. I mean, if I had forgotten to be here, it would have made total sense in the brain of Sean, because I'm convinced today is Tuesday. So, okay. Fight Sim Racing Burnout, do a series on that. I'm not sure. The best way to fight Sim Racing Burnout, best
I did a video on
to find another hobby.
Mm-hmm.
In my
opinion. I did a video on Sim Racing Burnout 3 months ago. Yeah.
Simrig412 says, in order of best to worst display type, OLED, LPS, VA, TN.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mention OLED because, Michael said OLED was out of his price range, so I didn't even go there. But yeah, I mean, if you have the money, definitely go OLED. But if you don't...
Isn't OLED the only one that actually turns pixels off so that black is actually black, or as close as you can get?
So yeah, it will do like the true blacks. It will do pixel shifting to prevent burn-in, because OLED screens will still burn in if you leave your monitor on. So yeah, if you're a person that likes to leave your computer running when you get up and walk around or go do things, make sure you set your monitors to go to sleep, because then you'll get burn in on your OLEDs.
Run the Ringmeister. The problem for me with the Ring is one of those tracks where you have people who that's all they do. And then you have people who like show up there after having not been there in 4 months. So if I did it, it would take me hours just to get to the point where I could push the MX-5 as hard as it could be pushed. Even though it's just the MX-5. And here's the other thing. I have a tremendous amount of pride when it comes to on track. So when I even mentioned running the BMW and running 35.7s, I'm still like, yeah, but I know I can get to a 35.1. Yep. And I do let, and this annoys me because it's one of my mottos of don't let perfection stand in the way of the good, right? And, you know, like the good is great, you know, and to seek and need perfection to move forward is such a horrible, there are times for it, but for the most part, it should be eliminated from one's thought. And I let it's one of my big hurdles, I have to admit. It could even lead to my racing burnout back in the day. Brandon, you talked about burnout. I used to let that seeking perfection create a burnout in its own. Yeah. Zico T, good morning. Oh, go ahead, Amir. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to answer Zico's question. So, Zico, I think when you're explaining it, so make sure when you're setting up AMS2 without surround and you're using that video, the tutorial that I did, make sure you set the left monitor as your main monitor, because AMS will center the screen based off of what screen's your main. So if you set it to your main monitor's left, then you'll start from the left and go and surround and go all the way to your right. So I think that's the problem that you're running into. So if you try that, that should fix it. Yeah.
Altran Sam, in the period that I reviewed them, no. But my brake pedal has developed a little bit of side to side on the P2000s. I have them really cranked up with a lot of pressure. Here's the other thing. I torture pedals, and it's not because I press on them any harder than anybody else. It's because I actually have a tendency to put my foot like on the bottom edge of the brake pedal. I don't put my foot perfectly flat on the pedal, and it seems to create a little extra wear and tear on a lot of pedals that I've beaten up over the years, I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
CS and 2 months. Yeah.
Zico, not that I had any issues now. If it does, then make sure then you can set your monitor back to center. But I didn't run into issues when I was doing all those videos and doing with surround without surround. It's only AMS2 that is weird about triple screens, and also it doesn't like you when you run a fourth monitor. Like you can only run 3 monitors. So if you have a fourth monitor that you use, you have to turn that off. You have to go into your control panel and turn off the fourth monitor, and then do it to get it AMS running. It's weird. I don't know if they fixed it since then. I haven't tried it, but yeah. There you go, man.
Awesome. Altran, I would contact them. And I mean, sometimes it takes a little time, but they might just take care of that, because I don't think you should have anything that should disappoint you. Disappointment should not be a word used when buying modern, respectable gear. I was going to say gear, but there's some gear that you can still have some disappointment in. Let's see. There's another T598. I love the T. There are always these weird moments where I'm not sure if it's placebo or if it's really what's going on. But Thrustmaster did something with their force feedback output. So something about their algorithms, something about their interpretation or what effects they're using gives the 598 a very unique feel. And in the world of direct drive wheels, I think unique outside of Newton meters is a word that's getting harder and harder to find. It's I almost feel like we're to the point where the wheelbases are so similar. And I know someone mentioned, Dan Suzuki said the new VRS feels better than the Simucube. I don't, and maybe it's placebo, maybe it's reality. But honestly, my real opinion is they're all getting so close to the same that you're almost buying into the ecosystem as much as you are like the benefits of one wheel to the other. I don't feel that there is a huge benefit of any of the direct drives, to be honest with you. I'd rock the 598 right now. Boom. I'd run the T818 right now. Totally, still like almost like not even on the same interpretation of a direct drive as everybody else. But yeah, I did always feel that way about my my AccuForce too. By the way, their interpretation and output was unique. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we're getting to the point now that, and this is me speaking generally, so like I'm gonna get into specifics about certain wheelbases, but I think we're now getting to the point where the wheel, yeah, you say all the wheelbases are so similar in how they do their force feedback for the most part. I think it just comes down to the user, like what do you feel more comfortable with? Because like it's the same thing like in cars, right? Like let's say, I mean, most people would agree, like for example, like the Porsche 911 GT3, probably one of the best supercars ever out there, but you're probably going to run into a couple of people that say, no, I prefer like the Ferrari 296 over the Porsche. And then that just comes down to feel like how they get that feeling from the car, what they want out of that car. And I think that's where we're kind of the same way when it comes to sim gear, and mostly nowadays is what kind of feeling, what kind of feeling do you get, and how you react to it. So
Right.
yeah.
And yeah, I've been correct. David Payne, it was the VNM, not the VRS wheel. Was in that comparison, by the way. I make that right. Okay. The thrustmaster of the T598 has buttons. The hardware market is oversaturated. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And
Oh, yeah.
if I had to guess, they will not all survive. I think we're actually way beyond the saturation point. So, I know during COVID, it was impossible to get sim gear.
Mm-hmm.
And it was two reasons, because so many people were buying it and because supply was short, right?
Yeah.
And I think that at that point, a lot of companies were popping up and having success because there was like, well, I can't even get my hands on such and such, so I'm just going to spend a little more money and get this. And so a lot of these companies just started having really good sales, strong sales, and hopefully didn't build new output facilities based on those sales. Because then what happened is the resale market was on fire because a lot of people were short timers or were getting out of sim racing, and then all of a sudden you had over inventory of real supply that wasn't selling because there was so much going on in the resale market. I think things have kind of evened out, and now it'll just take a little bit of time for people to realize whether making a product is going to be viable or not. And we'll wonder how high up the work chain, that it goes on that topic. So, all right, should we move along? Any other questions? I never mind taking time doing this, by the way, you guys. This is what it's all about.
Yeah.
We are here to talk sim racing, right?
Yeah, SNK fan, he asked a question, like, if the T598 is the starter for DDs, should he go for the T818 after or something similar? For me, it's like, if you are invested in the ecosystem, so if you already have Thrustmaster wheels, yeah, the T818 is a good direct drive wheelbase, but if you're not beholden to just wanting to stay in that eco, then, if you want to go into that mid-range direct drives, like, you've got really good options with Moza, with SimMagic, with VNM. All of them are really good direct drive wheels or wheelbases that are you're gonna be really happy with.
I agree. The only caveat to that I would say is if for some reason you're one of those people who are looking for like 1825 Newton meters, right? Then obviously the T818 would be. It's not a big hitter. It's a medium. Yeah. It's a medium hitter. Medium weight. I love that we have that, though. I do adventure motorcycling. David Blair does adventure motorcycling. You literally have lightweight bikes, middleweight bikes, and heavyweight bikes, and depending on who you are and what you're doing, one might be the wrong department for what you're looking for. So, I have never seen the Nitho Drive Pro. You're saving up for a new one. The PX V9 is still awful, but better. Agreed. If anybody was getting into sim racing today, and I would not let anyone go lower than like a Moza R3. I mean, even then, it's like, you know what, just save another season and get an R5, because at least now you're into the real world. Get a Fanatic 5 Newton meter. A starting point right now should be a 5 Newton meter direct drive wheel, and anything less, I hope you're just planning on putting it in the closet and doing it only for like a month and putting it away, because things have changed. Years ago I didn't talk this way. Years ago I had a different opinion on this, but now, because of the price and the reliability, you just have to. So.
I mean, I think since we're talking about for all the new guys they're asking questions about wheels and everything, I wouldn't focus, if you're wanting to be a faster, more consistent driver, I wouldn't focus too much on wheelbases. I would invest in a really good set of pedals.
Brake pedal.
Make sure you're investing in really good load cell, up to hydraulic pedals. Wheelbase will help you, give you more feedback. A good one will, but you're still not going to be able to, if you don't have good pedals, you're not going to be consistent in applying the brakes and getting them back on the throttle. So make sure you're looking at make sure you're looking at pedals first to upgrade, and then you can look at a wheelbase second.
There you go. Great advice right there. Anybody listen, and that applies to everybody. I want to say this to everybody who, whether you're watching now or later, if you are financially challenged, we've all been there, by the way. I remember distinctly saving up for years to buy a TSW, and if you know what that wheel is, you're as old as I am. Get into a community. You happen to be in a good one right here. Get in our Discord channel. Our guys are, if you just let it be known that you're looking for a Moza R5, I'll use that as an example. Best starter wheel you can get. I mean, it is the best starter wheel you can get. It is the least expensive, most bang for the buck, period. And you can put a wheel rim on. Let it be known, because there are people in our group who are maybe even thinking about an upgrade, and if they had a buyer for their old gear, it might just throw them over the top on that. Best way, and the reason I say getting it from a community, you could get that on eBay, but then you're getting it on eBay. At least in our community, our guys are really honest. They're good guys. They wouldn't tell you, oh, I dropped this wheelbase and didn't tell you, So yeah, that's what I would recommend. And I'm sure you'll be able to step up a whole tier that way. Because I know, man, it's hard. It's hard when you're strapped for cash. This is just a hobby, and food and rent and electricity are far more important than a hobby. Hobbies are important, but there are a lot of free hobbies too.
Yep.
So, I totally appreciate your situation. And then obviously build a rig out of wood. All right. Maybe maybe you can charge your friends, rent out your rig once you get it running, and recoup some of your money. When I was 18, I think my friends would have paid to drive my rig. I mean, is it worth having a brake shaker?
Base shaker.
What's that?
Is it brake shaker or base shaker?
Brake. No, like haptics on the brake, like the.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it. So here's the problem I have with haptics on the pedals right now. We're not 100% to the point of every sim does it and it always works. And it's the kind of thing that, I don't know if I want it turned off on me one day when I turn on my, if I get used to having that, because it's pretty badass. Yeah, the ISR TV forums used to be a great place. We have a buy and sell gear section in our Discord. !Discord. Get to a link to our Discord. It's also in the description of the show. All right. Should we move on?
We can. You ready to move on?
Yeah, Dante. Yeah, if you want to get the budget of sim racing covered, you set your wife up by telling her you're going to buy a boat, and then once she's talked you off that ledge, you then bring up sim racing, and it's like, well, I only need like $1,200, you know. That's rig, wheel, pedals, everything. I could be running for $1,200, which is a lot, by the way. I'm not trying to act like $1,200 is nothing. You still got to run that by the wife for sure. If you're married, do not spend $1,200 without running it by the wife, or you will not be married. Especially if it's for a sim rig. I guarantee it.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna move on.
Let's do it.
All right. Get in our Discord, everybody. Send us suggestions. Send us ideas. Show your gear if it's ready to be sold. Let people know you need. Oh, that's the other thing. Our group helps. We had all these conversations about monitors. I guarantee if you brought that up in our main channel or our Discord, you would have had just as successful conversation. Might have been a couple diversions, you know, but you know. All right. Speaking of Discord. Discord, Assetto Corsa Discord is coming soon. Applications for moderator roles are now open. If you're passionate about the game and the community, we want to hear from you. All right. That could be cool for some people, especially those who are really, really into Assetto Corsa. I'm assuming this is mainly moving forward in the name of Evo, right?
I mean, in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Early access in 2 weeks, guys.
16th, I think. All
Something like that, yep.
All right, let's see. You said sim rig or pub, and now you're stuck with it. Yeah, but most of us are pretty sober, so, I mean...
I won't be sober after this show.
Also coming to us from Assetto Corsa, a couple things. We got this. So 2025 is a very important year for us as we embark on our most exciting journey yet. Assetto Corsa Evo. Our little gift to you this holiday is to give you some hints about what you can expect in the upcoming weeks and months. So let's see here. I'm going to hit play on this video. We're not going to play the whole thing here. No, we're not buying YouTube TV. Oh, wow, that was a cool shot. I love those. Was that all Ferraris in a line? It looked like a...
Yeah.
I have it muted. If I mute it...
And the attention you are paying to the new
Marco
content
Massaruto.
that will be available soon in Assetto Corsa Evo. Today, we give you some hints about what you can expect to see and play in the next upcoming weeks.
I'm going to watch this after the show here.
Assetto Corsa
Yeah, I watched it already.
is
It's a good... I mean, he laid out a
franchise,
couple things to expect
and will
out
be
of Assetto
available
Corsa Evo when it launches. You know, confirming a couple of the tracks that are coming to it, how some of the things are going to work. I'm still like, I'm gonna be trying it. I'll try it day one. Maybe we can do. Maybe we'll stream it. I think we'll probably stream it if it's on Thursday. We'll stream the playthrough. I'm just kind of disappointed there's no multiplayer at launch. That's my only thing.
Yeah, that's gonna make. Well, I guess we're not gonna stream it together.
I know. I don't know how we're gonna be able to do
that. SNK fan, I have officially I have no word whatsoever on the load cell upgrade for the 598. My guess is you'll see it pretty soon though. Like they came out quicker with their new quick release wheel. So I think they were putting a lot of work into planning, and now we're gonna see the execution phase from Thrustmaster. So you know, we might even see it first quarter. Might. Don't hold me to that. All right. Seriously, Dan. Yeah, and for those who don't know what Dan just said, do you think Marco thought he'd be where he is 10 years ago? And I'm assuming you're getting back to like Netcar Pro, right? So before Assetto Corsa, it was Netcar Pro, which was like one of the most underground sims there were. Everything about it was underground, and by that I mean like not licensed content, huge massive modding community. They had licensed content, but incredible game. And to this day, purists would argue that Netcar Pro had better physics than Assetto Corsa Evo will have, right? It's one of those kind of sims, like it lives on in our hearts forever kind of thing. And the difference is no less passionate is the community, but how much larger. I mean, big enough to be associated with one of the biggest racing series in the world, having direct relationships with the likes of Ferrari and other manufacturers, and incredible. It's easy to say the Simpit has not seen the same success. 10 years
Why are you
ago.
putting yourself down like
hey,
that?
I'm just being real. I keep it real, man. I know
2025 is going to be a great year.
Yeah, I know. This is the one. No.
Oh my god.
All right, let's see here. And Overtake did their little write-up spin on pretty much the same thing, right? That's what that was all about.
Yep.
Same thing, but
there's talking about the cars that have been confirmed and the tracks that they, everything's in the trailer. If you're an Assetto Corsa fan, you've already seen the trailer, so you know what cars and tracks are coming to it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, look at the Lister Storm.
Yeah.
I love that car, man. All right. So this is some news coming from Project Motor Racing. Roots. Their marketing people are weird. Are they not? Bit. They are. They always are. Like
it's Ian Bell, right?
Well, but it's not like it's who he hires. So like there must be some quality of marketing. Like when he's talking to them, and he's like, "Oh, that dude's whack. Let's hire him." Because they always are like just on. But I'll give them credit. They're not like no, they will say it. Built from the ground. Can we get a bet going? An over under on when and if Project Motor Racing will use the words "from the ground up" in their marketing pre-launch?
I'm so tired of that catchphrase.
Would that be a fun? But my point is roots. They are so weird, and they do it in a totally different direction than anybody else. Is what I'm getting at. Anyway,
I think it's just mostly them getting back to the roots of Ian Bell's earlier days when getting into racing games, like getting
GTR.
Getting back like into GTR, the Need for because he was also with Need for Speed Shift and doing the original Project Cars 1 and 2, which were fun. They were fun. They were fun sims to play. And I'm hoping now them going back to maybe this is just them going back to the roots of what they were really good at, in the original days, then versus how they became what Slightly Mad became as they went on.
Yeah, look at that Lister. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
All right, so we have some info and build up for Project Cars 3 coming soon. And you still own a T818, and the QR is still plastic. True, much smaller. Yeah, plastic isn't the worst thing in the world. It's what plastic and in what context. I still wouldn't. I mean, if I had my way, I would still not make a quick release out of plastic. It's an area that has high. What do you call when things are removable? The whole process of taking a wheel off, putting it on. It's different than like torque, right? It's a different level of wear. So because you have that as one of the actions, and then the other is that it is a really high torque area, especially those who do the G.I. Joe kung fu twist on the wheel when they're driving, which a lot of people do. So yeah, I think that it still wouldn't be my choice. I would, even I could even argue that aluminum isn't the way to go in that area, and the reason being you have so much. It's more the separation, the quick release part. But aluminum is relatively soft when it comes to metal. So it's lightweight and it's great in certain contexts, but I wouldn't want a friction area with it. I would I would prefer honestly just steel. Just get over you don't need it to be super light in every aspect. And then in some people's case, it doesn't matter because they'd throw it away after a certain amount of time. So it wouldn't matter. Hold on, you guys. I do have family things going on. I just need to make sure. Hold on. That's so...
Yeah, Ultra Sam. It's they use metal. Like it's only Thrustmaster that uses a plastic QR. Logitech too, I think. I can't remember. But yeah, like that's the big one is like with Thrustmaster, how much they charge for their wheelbase. That's what makes people angry. Is using. They say they use composite plastic, which is supposedly stronger than metal or as strong as metal, but still, like, it's not that hard to invest a little bit more money in building a metal quick release than using plastic. But
yeah. Okay, I'm finding out if I'm leaving the show in your hands or.
Oh, I mean, I don't have control. You've got the controls, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna ignore my phone for a minute, but I do have some family stuff going on, you guys. So this is an article out of Traxion, and they're talking about the new Argentinian track that is now confirmed for free Pista Motorsport upgrade. Here, let me disclaim this one. Hold on. Autodromo de Concepción del Uruguay will soon hit the burgeoning sim racing tile. I don't like that word. I don't like the way they spell that word. I think if you asked me to spell that, I couldn't do it. So that's the next Argentinian venue on its way there.
Yep.
No one ever talks about sound. What are you guys using? Alan, do you mean like are any of us using sound cards, or do we use speakers or headphones? I can tell you that because of Joa Antonio, I'll give him credit, I will use nothing but Sennheiser headphones. I buy cheap, wired Sennheiser headphones. That's my recommendation.
They're the best, man. I love them. I got the same ones too.
Yeah, Sound Drop, isn't that? Is that?
Yep. Well, they used to be called Sound Drop. Now they're just called Drop.
Drop.
Yeah.
Last time I went there, they didn't have this. These are like the 39XX or something model. Yep. It's like very similar to the model that's sold elsewhere, but it's like it is hands down the best bang for buck headphone you can get, and I own 2 pairs of them. So, all right. Okay, moving along.
Yeah.
Gran Turismo. They are having their New Year's login campaign. It's open till January 6th. I don't know why I mentioned it, because we never get to talk about Gran Turismo. That's why.
No.
So they have a little thing where you can get some bonuses of some stuff and some coin and whatnot. Cool. All right, I'm done with that.
That was quick.
Now this, I bet nobody thought I was going to bring this to the table today. Okay. If there is one sim company I'm most blown away by, I'm not sure you guess who I'd be talking about. Mm-hmm. It's SCS Software. SCS Software. Oh, and somebody asked me earlier about the Hori truck wheel. I'll answer that question. SCS Software, the guys behind Euro Truck Simulator 2 and American Truck Simulator, they might be the most active group out there. I mean, with constant updates. Anyway, this is a video. This is them. It's amazing to see the transformation. Watch this time-lapse video capturing the construction process before we moved in this past May. This is for real. This isn't the game. This is the headquarters of SCS Software being built. I'm going to turn off the music because it's annoying me. Brian Ostrike got Turtle Beach Atlas Air headphones. So far I like wireless, open back, comfy, but fits loose on the head. Nice. Hey Brian, when are you going to take me on one of your vacations, man?
I know, I always see on his Facebook, he's traveling all over the world.
Hello, what about me? I haven't gotten an invite. What's up? I haven't gotten an air ticket. I haven't got...
I mean, you should be planning for the Sim Expo, in March,
Sim
right?
Expo. I'm gonna have to go collect cans. I'm not even joking. All right, so congratulations to them on their new headquarters. John Hill, me too. I don't know. I think it is because I haven't heard back. I sent a message to my mom saying, is it an emergency or can I call you back in an hour? I got a voicemail from her saying, but my mom, I don't know, my mom, it said, Sean, call me back right away. Okay, bye. I don't know, like, how to interpret that. And if it's not an emergency, she's going to get an earful, honestly. Like, hello, Mom, don't know.
It's showtime. You should be watching this show, not calling me.
Yeah.
Right?
You would have heard me telling you how much I love you earlier. Okay. Hey, Terry Sanders, how you doing?
No.
David Scott. Did I say hi to you? I'm not sure. Simreg asked about the Hori. Yes, the Hori. I am really digging the Hori wheel. So it gave me a whole new, like, I actually restarted a career just to do it again from the beginning. And I am, like, ready to buy for cash my first truck. Like, no bank loan even. So it gives you an idea how many runs I've made. And the Hori truck wheel is really awesome. I'm a little conflicted. Here's my conflict point. It is what it is. I hate saying that, but hey, it's a plastic wheel with a dual motor gear driven innards, right? So I basically just described a like modified Logitech G20. It's got a giant wheel, which is awesome because it's built for trucking. But because of it being plastic and a giant wheel, it's going to be flexy, right? So if you're like looking for this like massive like direct drive comparison steering wheel, no. And then you're like, okay, what about the price? It's $600. That's not cheap because for $600 I could get you a Moza racing set. But it's not going to be a truck set. It's going to be a basic racing set. So it is so specifically built that I think the money is fine. Because the only people who should be buying that are people who play those two sims and maybe some farm sim or something like that. Right. And if you're like, yeah. So because it's so purpose built, it's almost like flight sim gear, and it's like, okay, well, you can't really use this for anything else. You're not going to play even joystick games you wouldn't necessarily play with a flight stick, right? So I think it's justified. Anyway, I've really enjoyed it. What I'm looking forward to is running the Moza truck setup for comparison. But it's substantially more money by the time you built that whole setup up. And then what are you going to do? Like, I've put a truck-sized wheel on my racing rig, and it just barely makes it feel more realistic, because that's not how you sit in a rig, in a big rig. Right. I don't have my feet at the level of my ass in a big rig. And I don't have a big giant wheel in my face. So to make the Moza comparable, I would have to mount it in a way that allowed for that, which then makes it not really very good for racing. So, like, in the Moza scenario, are you looking for the expensive alternative to the Hori wheel? Or are you really going to go through all that work to switch back and forth? And, so again, I think because it's so specifically built, it's a really, really good setup. I don't know that it will last forever, just like most gear-driven wheels might not. I mean, it probably comes down to how much you abuse them. Kind of hard to abuse that wheel if you're playing truck sims, though, because, like, what are you doing? Like, you're driving, like, I don't care. You're not going to spin it that fast, right? You shouldn't be reversing direction that fast.
Shouldn't be. No, not on a truck.
So, yeah, that's my thoughts. You got one for $180 and a wheel stand for $20, so $200 and sold it for... That's making some money, Simrig.
Yeah.
What hurts, Hinch? Like, my ears fit inside the cups.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't get any fatigue in these. But that could be the problem. It could just be like, it's kind of like a helmet. It needs to be like the right shape of your head, or it doesn't matter what size it is. She's going to Tasmania solo?
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Not worth 600, maybe 400. But what value do you put, like, so let's say, Simric, I'm willing to accept that as an opinion, by the way. I'm not arguing it at all. If trucking was your only sim, because there are a lot of people who that is their only wheel, their only sim, is it too much? Because anything and everything else is a compromise, and maybe I don't have the $1,000 it would take to put the Moza setup together.
Yeah. I mean, because you're also going to be talking about, with Moza, so you got to get the wheelbase, right? The wheelbase, the truck wheel. It comes with the clamp, right? So you have to get the stocks. You're going to have to get a shifter with all the buttons and everything on it, like the Hori has. And then a set of pedals. I don't know. I think 600. Like maybe it's in the top of the acceptable price range for me, but right. I don't think it's overpriced. Yeah.
Yeah, and the shifter.
Yeah.
I think that if they had put just a little bit more effort into the pedals, that you could justify the 600, even with it being a plasticky, cheap, wheelbase. Yeah. And that based on what I do cover this in the review, by the way. The shifter feels much more robust than the steering wheel. Like, it's beefier. Even though it's made of plastic, it is a beefier unit. Even the buttons feel better than the buttons on the steering wheel, funny enough.
Yeah.
So the shifter, I think, might be a little bit overbuilt for the set. Funny enough. But I think they're going to sell the shifter standalone, by the way. That's why I think so. Pretty confident, because it's USB direct. So why wouldn't you just stick it in a box and make it available to people? But it doesn't have a removable handle. So that's why they might not, again, I'm very much thinking of truck people,
Right.
And I've seen a lot of these people on YouTube and TikTok and whatnot. So I'm not that heavy into the truck sims, but I am aware of, their communities to an extent. So
yeah.
Someone mentioned needing a new rally game. I can't remember, but I saw it in the comments up there.
I do. I think it's Callum. I think Callum's tired of WRC.
Really? But we're starting a new season today.
Yeah.
Today.
You know Callum. Come on.
So BeamNG has a secret rally mode. So there's an article at Traxion that's telling you how to find out how to play BeamNG Drive's Work in Progress Rally Mode, introduced via the game's latest V.34 update. So that could be very cool.
I'd want to try that out. I gotta try that out, because I know there's mods and everything to do rally. I think what's her name? Emery did a video about using the rally BeamNG for rally, so I gotta try it out. I haven't
this
fired
shot
up
looks
BeamNG
great
in a long time. Yeah.
BeamNG is so good.
Yeah.
BeamNG, I know there's no comparing the two, but BeamNG almost is like the Netcar Pro of today. And I wouldn't be surprised if in 10 years we're saying the same thing about them. Oh, wow, look how they have all these affiliations with all these real car companies and all these real assets. Right. And yeah, I wouldn't doubt it a bit. They're so good.
Wow. I enjoy it, man. It's a lot of fun. I like BeamNG. I just haven't fired up in a long time.
I think today we're talking more about smaller group developers than ever before.
I know.
Believe it or not, we have
what's going on.
Yeah. Well, we have something to talk about with Live for Speed.
What?
Crickets chirping. People are like,
oh my.
What? Did he say Need for Speed? They're talking about Ian. No, live for speed, people.
I love that sim. I love that sim. It's such a good sim.
This is I don't even know if all three, I think it's down to 2. It is a 3-man development group. I think they're down to 2 at this point. They didn't.
No, they're still at 3.
Are they? Okay. Live for Speed. Live for Speed, to an extent, was the thorn in the side of every other sim for a long time. Yeah, LFS who. Live for Speed is the game, the sim that made you question everybody else's physics.
Yeah.
So here is this independent group that was putting out physics that arguably were better than the big league companies. And it was really something. When you drove that sim, the way it felt at the time was just unbelievable. I mean, very believable, I should say. Anyway, we very, very rarely do we see an update for Live for Speed, but now we have a graphics progress report with a Kyoto update, a graphical update for Kyoto. And I believe they lengthened the track with the update, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Great to see. And hopefully every time I see, it was like a few years ago that they did something, and I'm like, signs of life from Live for Speed. Maybe we're going to get to see more, because I would love... there was one more thing. Here it is. And we also have this. This is on December 27th. Licensed mod approved. Thanks to Skoda Auto, LFS mod creator Stuccio has made a licensed replica of the 1996 Skoda Felicia kit car 1600.
Nice.
Information and screenshot on the mods page. Let's check that out. Dee. And all these rally shots, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
That'll make our rally guys happy.
Look at the tire flex. Is that not flexing the wrong way? If that is flex, that can't be flex. That has to be an optical. Sorry. Sorry about that. All right. So, ray tracing now. No, I don't think they did that. That was the second sim you played if you counted NASCAR 2003. Exactly, but that gives you an idea how old it is.
Yeah.
All right. Amir, earmuffs, Amir. Okay, everyone. Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Their AI opponents have been greatly improved with the Season 2 release. Keep improving the AI with future updates to offer you the best racing experience. So they've improved the AI for Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. In addition to that, they're wishing you a happy new year, and they've heard our feedback and our expectations for the future of Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Exciting new features, content, and improvement are coming in Season 3, directly inspired by what TDU fans have been eagerly waiting for. Stay tuned. So, hopefully you guys have been giving them great feedback. And I see that SimRacing 604 and Billy Strange are both following them, so maybe they both gave them some great feedback. I know that Billy would have been very gentle with his words.
Okay, sure. He's a gentle soul. He would never say anything that's very so mean.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give my opinion that this title is garbage, but anyways.
All right, check this out. This almost missed the news. If I had prepared earlier, we would miss this. Sim Magic Official.
Ooh.
The ultimate all-in-one experience coming your way. The Neo X coming soon.
Ooh.
So remember the Neo Formula Wheel, which is a great steering wheel? It looks like this is a Neo X hub.
Ooh.
Hubba bubba. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, that could just be photo imaging. I have a box.
Are they going to be playing the DMX, X going to give it to you while they launch it and everything?
Where is that box? I have a box around here. It came in from someone. Where did I put it?
Ooh.
I don't know. All right. I don't see the box. Neo X. Elon owns. They're being forced to change the name to Neo Twitter. It is a hub. Yeah, that's what I figured. It looks like it's a hub that's based on the Neo rim, which is cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Mr. Law drives. Hello.
Hi.
Happy New Year to you. Cubic Systems is now showing they're new. They are building and selling this under their own name. Is the you might recognize the design. I'm not going to name names. But this is the Cubic System seat mover. We're going to call it. Yeah. Actually, that's what they call it. Wow, they're the first company that has acknowledged that it's a seat mover. Like that's the style of it. Right? Everybody else wants to like try to find some way of just not calling it that. I've noticed.
Yeah, they call it motion platform or motion mover.
Platform.
Never a seat mover.
Yes, it's a seat mover. No shame in that. Seat movers are awesome. It's 2 degrees of freedom at a reasonable price that you can put on any rig. You could build a forever rig. You know what? We're not going to call them Deathmobiles anymore. We're going to call them forever rigs, or in my case, a forever rig. So anyway, 3,100 pounds, which is very similar to the other.
Euro.
What? Euro. What's the euro going for against the dollar right now?
Like $1.04, I think.
So we're pretty even.
$1.03, $1.04.
Pretty even.
A little bit more, or yeah.
Okay.
But
okay.
Close. Not as much as the pound. Yeah.
Okay, 3,150 people. So, Cubic Systems, big name. Abir's run Cubic Systems stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I've got their platform and tensioner. Yep. No Callum. Callum, he uses the Cubic QS 210 motion. The motion. He uses it more as a seat mover than anything else. Yeah.
Yeah. Oldest, you're absolutely right. Yes, but this is sort of like an attempt at making it super basic and easy. Like anyone can do it. I don't think it's quite that easy. That unit is so heavy that anyone can't do it because you're gonna have a little bit of like you're gonna have to like have some of that. How did we build the pyramids kind of thinking? Like how do I lift this like 55-pound thing into place so I can bolt it? Like I honestly I had to build a structure to hold that in place so I could bolt it to my rig when I was using a different company's version of the same thing.
Yeah.
The same thing.
David, are belt tensioners any good by themselves? I'd say yes. I have one. I've ran it without motion. It's good without motion. It feels a little weird because of how it pulls the belts when you're braking or going through the corners. What does it give you like the good right feedback where you're going through the corners and braking everything? Yes, 100%. It will work really, really good by itself. But to really go to the next level and make sure you're getting that really good feeling with motion, is to get a decent feeling of sustained G-forces, you do need to have motion because they kind of complement each other. But if you want to get one on your own and then maybe later on get a motion, yeah, seatbelt tensioner is really good too. It kind of helps you, like I said, with your braking and when you're turning and going to the corners. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
It's almost like the seat, the G seat kind of. You tried a while ago, Sean.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was a long time ago.
It
John,
works well without motion.
No, you just use one of those. This is just like John. You've run a CXC simulation. It's the same concept and movement. You just, instead of needing 2 posts to move the back of the seat, you just move the seat from the bottom. That's what it's doing. Okay, moving around. VRS is showing off their new R295 steering wheel, which looks pretty nice. It's a reasonably priced. Look, check this out. Unbundled, here it is. The R295 is $400 for that wheel. So that's a VRS $400 steering wheel with some encoders, some buttons, a rev strip, some formed grips, some paddle shifters. Yep, there you go.
Nice. It looks a little thin.
Thin.
Or is that just me?
Yeah, it does look thin. Let's try another shot.
Looking at it right there, like it looks a little thin.
It does.
Compared to other rims, yeah.
But $399 is not bad. I mean,
that's a good price.
As inexpensive as you're gonna find a decent wheel rim.
Yeah.
Are you gonna build these new Poke Orny?
I am gonna build more in the future. Yes, dude. I loved building the Hyper R rim they had, and then when I saw they were releasing because now hypercars are all the rage right now. You know, iRacing has them, LMU, AMS2. You can get the mods for them in Assetto Corsa. So now we're starting to see replica hyper rims, and Cornwall, like, I think they're probably the best site if you're wanting to get plans to build a wheel. Like, I think they're the best out there. Their plans are amazing. It's great. They give you advice on where to go buy parts, or what type of 3D printers to use, or all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I might not build this rim because I already have too many like open wheeler kind of prototype rims. I want to build. I think I'm gonna build the rally rim next, just because I promised Callum to do that.
The pork knee.
The pork. But I thought it was cool to share that, yeah, they just released their plans, so you can build your own hypercar rim. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, I only have 2 more tidbits of news before we bring this show to a close.
We forget we got to do something. Remember?
Oh, yes. I forgot about that. Here. All right. Let me get to these 2 things, and then we will go to the other. I have to... If I go to the other channel on Discord, I'm going to lose your camera.
What are you talking about?
To look at my list. All right, you'll give me the list. I'll write it down.
Okay.
Or I'll remember it.
I mean, you could go to it real quick and then come back to it. It's fine.
Okay. Let's talk about a few things going on, you guys. Sim Expo, there's 2, Brian. There's one in September in Chicago, and there's one in March in Austin. So we have 2 different... The one in Austin in March is the same group that does the Germany one.
Mm-hmm.
And the new one in Chicago is one that is done by our good friend George Anzaldo. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Who you might know because he ran Lionheart forever. Big name in sim racing. So he's put years into putting this together, and that's happening in September. And yeah.
Yeah, you should be having some good news coming out next week or so. About companies have signed up and everything. So we should start hearing a lot more from them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right here, I'm going to turn your camera off for 1 second anyway.
Okay.
Here we have our good community member, good friend, Andrew White, is hosting an event tonight just for fun because it's Friday and Friday after New Year's. So what the hell? Let's start things off. And he's calling it the Road and Plate Palm Rat Golf Series. Anyway, tonight we are going to be running the super late model and the late model stock. Are we running against each other? I'm not sure if it's like...
Yep.
Okay, so it's versus, because one's a little more easy to drive, consistent. The other one's a little more sketchy, but potentially faster.
Yeah, one's faster, and the other one's better handling road courses.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to have that going on tonight. I will be there. This is going to be at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 o'clock Pacific. We'll have some heat races, and then a feature. We're at Barber Motorsport on a fixed setup. So hopefully you all can make it. So yeah, best way. It'll be in the hosted section, hosted by Andrew White. You can find it by the track name Barber Motorsport. Or get into our Discord and you'll see people gathering. We'll probably have a chat room going. I'll get in the chat. I'm not going to stream it tonight, I don't think, but I will get in the chat and just talk with anybody out on track. So yeah, we'll have that going on. Let me turn your camera back on. There you go. All right. Beyond that, today is the beginning of the Simpit Rally 2025 Season 1. So it starts today, which means you have 1 week. Tony, I can't remember, but I think that's the one I'm gonna run, because why not run faster and control it? That's me.
Right.
Anyway, the Simpit Rally 2025 season. This is on EAWRC. We have a rally club on RaceNet. It is the Simpit Rally League, and we're starting a whole new season. The awesome thing about this is you have a full week starting right now, starting today, to post your time for it's 6 stages to complete the rally. So I think Rally Monte Carlo is the first one up. I will be getting my time in probably Monday or Tuesday would be my guess. I'll definitely be getting a run in at Monte Carlo. Ooh, Monte Carlo. No. So yeah, if you're looking for a good rally league in EAWR sports, you can get into our Discord. We have a whole thread there for it, or just get into RaceNet and join Simpit Rally League on there. It's as easy as that. Okay, Amir, take the floor. I'm gonna go over to that channel real quick. So we're gonna, even though you're gonna talk, we're gonna lose your. Oh, John Hill wearing his super baggy harem style pants. Harem style.
Is that what you're gonna be admiring for a while? Okay.
No, I'm done with that. I'm done with that.
No judgment here, Sean. It's 2025 now, you know. So
where did we put?
In the chat that we're using.
Oh, it's in the Road League, right?
No, in the chat that we're using for the names, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you gave it to me here. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, we had an idea. Not we had an idea. Andrew Slizen, he's one of our members. He had an idea for us to do something fun, and for the community to have a little bit of fun when we're off season from our road series. And he proposed an idea where Sean and I would have a team of drivers, and they have a whole week to do races and set points, and then whoever wins at the end of the season, you know, that team is declared the winner. And then for me to kind of make it more enticing, we decided, hey, let's give out t-shirts to the winners. So whoever's on that team that we're going to draft from, they're going to get free t-shirts for the Simpit. So the rules are, there are 6 drivers. Sean and I have to draft 3 drivers each. And then every week we have to pick one driver to race for us to set the points for the championship. And we can only pick that driver, I think, 4 times, but I think we might change that because we're 2 weeks behind. So let's say we can only pick them 3 times, right?
Okay.
You agree? All right. So we can only pick them 3 times. So we have to use up all of our drivers, and we cannot use their points more than 3 times. And every week we'll say, all right, I'm going to use this driver, and Sean's going to pick this driver, and then so on forth. All right. So we're going to draft our teams now. We were supposed to do it last time, but we were, holidays, everything ran into it. We didn't get to do it, but we're going to do it now. So you got Team Amir, you got Team Sean, and who's going to go first? Well, let's announce our drivers. So who's up for draft?
All right. Our eligible drivers are Anders Slissens, who proposed this great idea, Brandon Carl, Joe Dynamite, Neil McDougall, Ola Sarnquist, and Oldest Pudiklis.
All right.
Amir, I'm going to allow you to pick first.
What? Me? All right. I am going to pick my number 1 driver, drumroll, Neil McDougall.
Ooh. Do I need to write this down? All right. So I can pick in secret. He won't even know. We can conspire without him, you guys. He's gone. All right. So this is a fantasy league, and if it goes off well, I think we might do this in the future. Like, this could be something kind of cool. You're for Team Simplicity. You're confused. Well, we're just trying out something new to see. Think of it this way. So it's just like a fantasy league where you. My understanding is if you have a bunch of drafted players, you can't play all your players all the time. So you have guys that you're choosing, and maybe it's because you have a hunch they're going to be hot. Maybe they matched up good, something like that. So we're going to see. Because, again, if we could expand on this, we could do something in the future with, more teams and more drivers. We just have to kind of figure out. Anyway, we're just looking for something different. Brandon mentioned burnout way at the beginning. How do you find burnout? You find new games and the same thing you love doing. I used to be into hobby flying, and it's like, funny enough, if you go to the airfield every day or every weekend, it gets a little monotonous. Well, then you guys start coming up with other things like, oh, let's have a dogfighting weekend and everyone put a streamer on the tail, or let's do some pylon racing and just put 2 flags out and, just maintain a routine. So, yeah, this is just kind of one of those kind of things. So, all right. You picked Neil McDougall.
I did.
I am going to pick Oldest Pudiclis.
All right. Write that down. All right. Then I guess
there are a couple wild cards. There are a couple I'm like, man, okay, go on. Your pick.
No, it's good. All right. Pick number 2 for me is going to be, this is going to be tough. I am going with Andrew Slizens.
Okay. I am going to go with, I know, Ola. I'm going with Ola. Yeah.
All right.
Ola's been on fire!
All right. Let's see. We're down to our last 2. So we got Braden Carr left and Joe Dynamite. Ooh. Let's say I'll go with my train guy, Brandon Carl.
All right, I get Joe Dynamite. Awesome. Awesome. All right, Team Cole.
There Cole. You go. I got
Team Cole, Oldest Pudiclis, Ola Sarnquist, and Joe Dynamite.
There you go. All right, so I guess now we have to pick who's going to drive for us for this week. I guess yeah.
What's the setup?
I mean, this is so yeah. I can't believe I mentioned it. So yeah, they're gonna be racing in the BMW M2 Cup Series. So they can race whenever they want. We got until.
Oh, so you mean they're gonna be at Oschersleben?
Yeah, so they're gonna be at Oschersleben. Yeah. I mean, whoever we just take their points they get for that week for their championship, and that's the points that get assigned. So, I will go with Andrus first for this week.
Okay. I can't choose myself.
No, we're the team managers. We don't drive.
Because I'm on fire at this Oschersleben. I don't know the name of the friggin' track, but I am running quick, man. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go. Oldest will be.
You go with Oldest. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with our leadoff hitter.
All right.
Oldest Pudiclis. All right, Oldest.
You do know when we did the BMW Fun Race, right? Who was the best driver out of everybody?
Who?
Slizens.
Yeah, he was, huh?
He even destroyed Oldest. I'm just saying.
Just saying. Well, it's just week 1. You got to finish.
All right.
That car can be challenged to finish in.
It is. Oh yeah.
It is ridiculously dangerous on the first lap. So if, it isn't when you're in practice mode, but the minute you're like racing for position, that car's hard to finish the first lap on.
Yep.
Because a little extra throttle puts you in the wall really fast.
Yep.
And then the other is I haven't done a full run, but I just sense that tires are going to be a big fat issue. I think that car might get a little light on grip at the end of the race.
It overheats its tires pretty quick, yeah.
So
definitely for sure.
So as quick as I'm running, I haven't been able to step it down yet. And I'm like, no, I know. I haven't been checking temps, but I'm knowing is that an animal? Did I see an animal behind you? I see a dog. You have a dog?
It's a
Bring the dog onto the camera. I can't believe you've been holding out on a dog.
There we go.
Oh, hi. Oh, I want to pet the dog. I freaking love dogs. I don't know if you guys know this.
Oh, me too, man.
So yes, this is our trial run on this. Oldest, yeah, just do your best, man. It's all long game, man. Score points.
Oh yeah,
just score points. So not a lot of room on that track either. So yeah, Brian, we're gonna run this, and yeah, this could be something kind of fun and cool that we might be able to do, in the future. And again, I could see us having maybe 6 or 8 team captains, each with 3 drivers, right? That could be kind of cool. So this is a trial. This is a trial of a great idea. So Andres, thanks for giving us the inspiration and the idea, and we'll see how it goes. You have a bobcat called Bob. My motorcycle is named Bobcat.
There you go.
Or let me rephrase it: the Bobcat. No.
The Bob.
So, all right. You have a cat? Where's the cat? I didn't see the cat.
I don't have a cat.
Okay.
I don't have a cat.
I have a cat. I want one of those.
You do?
Oh,
this isn't a cat.
No, I'd have a cat.
Oh, you want?
Yeah, I had a Maine Coon cat, and I would definitely get it.
I love Maine Coons.
Yeah,
man.
it was a great cat. And I kind of want one of those nasty effers, the carnals, I think they call them.
Yeah.
They look like sphinxes almost.
Yeah.
I want one of them. But every time I see one, they're like really mean. And it's like,
okay.
And they're big and mean. And it's like, cats are more vicious than dogs, in my opinion.
They can be. Yeah.
So I don't know if I want a a cat will stalk you, right?
That's where you need like a rag doll or like those cats just are lazy. They don't do anything. And you could do almost anything to them. They just don't care. They're like, all right, I don't.
And I'm certain it's genetically wrong, but have you seen these cats that have the little like stumpy legs?
Oh yeah.
They're like, okay, that's weird. That's really weird. Okay. All right. You've renamed your Chihuahua from Molly to Piddle Pop. Now she's a little heff. All right. Okay, and a hamster. Okay, now we're getting carried away.
Yeah, I know.
All right, everyone. That is going to do it for this show. Tune in. I'm going to try to, over the weekend, go live with some BMW. So I know our all-star teams are running there. I'm going to try to run there, too, at some point to try to get this whole streaming, iRating, points paying, or in my case, losing, because I have an inflated iRating. So I'm prepared to give back probably about 400-600 points.
Nah, you'll be good, man.
Yeah.
You know, if Gamer Muscle can get up to like 5,000 iRating, I'm sure you can too.
If I just go consistent, I'm not very consistent in general. So I don't have a lot of free time, so it's hard to maintain certain consistency. Yeah. And then I got to do a WRC run, and then I got to run late models tonight, and
sounds like such a hard life.
It is. For us.
So terrible. I'm sorry, man.
It's a hard knock life, man. All right. Well, that is going to do it for the show. I actually have to go make a phone call. I have some things family-wise I definitely have to deal with. So I'm going to get to that. And Happy New Year, everyone. 2025 is here upon us. And I wish you all the very, very best, most prosperous, most fun, most mentally satisfying year you can possibly have. Thank you all for being part of the community. Any great ideas on what we can do with the Simpit to make it better, hit us up on Discord. Hit me up. Hit Amir. If you think I'm mean, then tell Amir. If you think Amir's mean, then tell me. Now, looking for ideas this fantasy league. Great idea. Yeah. Something that could be really different, cool, and unique about the Simpit in our community. So think in those terms. Get out there, do our rally league. Join us for the late models tonight. And most of all, get out there and do some sim racing. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole. That's
Amir.
And we will see you on the track. Have a good one, everyone.
Later, guys.